It is September 5th. I'm officially starting the framing. Working on cutting grade boards. I've got the two short front ones cut. Working on this side. These are all 2x10 pressure treated. Kind of cutting off the split ends where there's nails. This one's all rotten. So picking out what I can use out of here. I don't think I'm gonna have to buy anything, so that's cool. There's all the grade boards cut. Closer inspection shows that this one right here and this one over here are actually not pressure treated. So I think I'm gonna buy two new pressure treated boards for those spots. But otherwise everything else is ready to get attached to the concrete posts. Getting my layout sorted out here. So I've gone and I've marked every post. This is 14 inches above basically zero, my grade right now. That's where I want the top of my 2x10 grade board, so that whatever, in the future when I have floor and everything, it all works out. And then this number is the measurement from here down to there. And I've marked every post with whatever that measurement is. And then I'll use that number to cut the wood post to the appropriate length so that the top is even all the way around. I've got the grade board clamped in place, just verifying that it is in fact level, which it is. That's good. And I am going to drill through the wood into the concrete. I'm going to drill through the wood into the concrete for these anchors. It's called a split drive anchor. So that'll go in, and that's what's going to hold my grade boards on. There's the first grade board up. I can assure you, those are never coming down. These anchors drive pretty hard, and I can't imagine them coming out. If I had to take this off, it's going to get cut. But that's good. I'm just going to work my way around the building. The grade boards are all installed. I ended up actually not buying any new ones. I replaced these two here, this one and that one. I actually had a 16-foot 2x10 in the shed, so that was convenient. These are all on. I got 3 of those split anchors in every end. Tomorrow I'm going to start cutting my posts to length and maybe getting those stood up. I am working on cutting these posts to length. So I went around, I wrote down, I numbered each position, figured out the length I need for each one so that the tops are all level. But I just wanted to point out all this rot right here. These are timbers that I took down from a garage at my neighbor's house a couple years ago. And that was built with these posts in the ground, with no concrete or anything, just plopped right in the dirt. And you can see right here, that was about the ground level, and it's all rotted out just down here. And most of them are like that. So that's prime reason number 1 why I'm not putting any wood in the ground. This garage was built in the early 90s, so it was in the ground for say 30 years, and it's just toast at the bottom here. All of my posts are now cut to length and placed in their proper homes, so I know which one goes where. I do still have to lay everything out as far as girts and windows and all that stuff, but I think that's going to be it for today. Yeah, put it back up.
It's like a guitar.
Yep. Let's not, Charlie. Just got all the posts stood up. It's actually looking like a building now, finally. Going pretty well. The first one's a little tough, just to get it plumb and figure out how to do it the easiest way, but everything else went pretty smooth. I will say, could have done better placing the concrete posts in the ground on a couple of these. You know, like this one, I've got my strings set up, so I'm going off of my string. It's hard to do on the camera with the fisheye lens, but so to get it onto the string line, you know, it's offset pretty far from the post on a couple of these. But you know, it's my first time doing this, so I think it'll be fine. It's a barn. It's gonna store things just fine. A couple waves in the siding isn't gonna make a difference. This is probably the worst one, I think, actually. I couldn't even get to the string because it was just well outside, so you know it's probably an inch off between here and here. So that's not great, but it'll do. I gotta go. These will all get bolted eventually, but I'm gonna get all my girts up for now and get everything kind of tied in and squared up before I bolt it. Making good headway on the framing today. We got the second header up over here. Most of the girts on. Unfortunately, made a little mistake. This row of girts is on the wrong side of the line. We're gonna have windows in here. So I actually have to cut those girts off and move them down so that the windows are gonna fit. So that's pretty unfortunate. But it is what it is. We'll sort it out. This side is looking pretty good. And then the hard part starts where we have to start framing the roof. Okay, the main wall framing is done. Got all my girts up. And I am prepping for roof framing next. There will be some additional work on the ends here, framing around the garage door with some girts across the top. But I want to get the roof structure in place first. So, prepping for that. I got some pipe staging going up. And pretty much I gotta cut my rafters and do all my layout on my top plates, which I forgot to do on the ground, so that's kind of annoying. And then should be able to hang all those rafters up. Did about a half day of work on the building here. Didn't really get a lot done. These are all my roof rafters. Got those moved over and started to figure out the layout. Unfortunately, this was a salt box style garage originally, so the tails on half of these are really big, and unfortunately it's still gonna work okay because my bird's mouth cut is about right in here. So this will be hidden in the soffit basically, but there are 3 of them where it broke when I was taking it apart. It split right along here, and I'm just not comfortable using those. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to buy 3 of those, but it's not too bad. The other 23 are good to go. I got some diagonal bracing installed in the corners here. I gotta buy a little more wood to finish those off. And I think we've decided that the walk door is gonna be in this bay, kind of centered in that bay. And that'll give us space to the left of the door to have some shelving here. And so it's gonna replace the windows that would have been here, so we'll just have 2 bays of windows on this wall and then the door. Got all my rafters cut. I do just still need to buy 3 more boards. These 3 here are unfortunately not usable. But everything else is cut. I'm starting on the roof framing today. These are the ties that go from wall to wall. The rafters will be attached to these. I made my first mistake. Just put 5 nails in this thing in the wrong place. I've marked out, I don't know if you can see, this is right where my rafter is gonna sit. 24 on center. And I actually just put my tie right in the middle of that. It needs to be offset to the side so that my rafter can sit where it needs to be. So that's a bummer. Hopefully this will come out without too much difficulty. And I'm glad I only did the first one before I found that mistake, but it's a little tricky with just myself. So I got these up here, nailing one end, then I'm gonna go over, nail the other end. Just a lot of up and down. A lot easier if I had a second person with a second nail gun, but oh well, work with what I got. All of the ties that I have are installed. I do need to buy 1 board. They're 20-foot 2x6s. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get that home, so I haven't bought it yet. It goes in that slot right there, but everything else is up. And my plan is I'm gonna put some decking up there down the center so I can walk up there, and I need to build some framing to hold the ridge board, and that's how I'm gonna install the roof rafters. I'm gonna set them up into the ridge, standing up on there. Right now, this is my ridge board, I guess. It's not a beam, it's not load bearing. I decided to use hangers, even though I don't really have to by code. I just thought it would be easier, to do it myself. So I've marked out where everything is going to be. There's a rafter there, and I'm just nailing off one side of these so that it's the right height. I'm using just a cutoff that's got the right angle on it. I'm setting my height, and then I'll nail the other side of this bracket once it's up there and I have the actual rafter in. I don't want to nail it and have it be too tight, and then I can't get the rafter in, and it's a pain. So this will keep it in place. I'll nail this after, and I'm actually using screws for here to go through the rafter into the ridge. So I've got, I think 24 of these to install. 12 on this side. I'll flip it over and I'll do the other side. Ridge board is ready to go up. There's gonna be a rafter here, but I didn't put a hanger there because obviously there's nothing to attach here, so that'll be okay. I'll do those at the end probably, I'm not sure. But you can see both sides. I got the hangers. And then I think I need to get my work platform set up there, and then figure out how I'm gonna get that big old board up top. I just spent a few minutes putting in these diagonal braces and these longitudinal braces. These run from post on one end down to the post on the other end, tied in with every rafter tie. And it's amazing. I put these up here, these rafter ties, and they were like wet noodles all over the place. And then just tying them all together, putting those diagonals in, makes all the difference in the world. This thing is rock solid. I'm now gonna fasten my planks down, and I'll have a nice stable platform to work up there to get my rafters in place. I got the bolts in to the posts. So basically I'm I'm done with most of the structural framing below the roof line. I still need to frame in the doors on each end, windows, but we'll do that after the roof structure is up. I've got my planking screwed in. I'm gonna see if I can get a 20-foot 2x6 home in the next week. Figure out how I'm gonna do that. Feels like I didn't do a whole lot today, but getting prepared to put the roof structure up. So I have all this decking down so I can walk up here. I have built some supports on either end. There's one, and behind me there's the other. So that's gonna hold my ridge board right here that I have prepared. So the plan is tomorrow morning I have 5 rafters I need to cut, and then I'm gonna lift this ridge board up into the pocket there, just let it sit there, and then I'll get my rafters pulled up and I'll be able to set the rafters into the pockets on the into the brackets onto the ridge board here, and then I can fasten them to the top plate on the outside wall, and hopefully I can get this roof structure up pretty quickly. Because if I can get the structure done, and I've got some bracing I got to do after that, but then next weekend I have my dad in town to help, and it'd be great to get his help putting the decking and actually, starting the roof, plywood and, shingling and everything. If we can even get that far, that'd be awesome. But here's where we are. I got my 20-foot 2x6. I ordered that to be delivered along with all my roofing materials, so that came yesterday. I was able to get that in. It's coming together. A lot of work that doesn't feel like anything, just getting prepared to do this. I'm working by myself mostly. Mary helped me get the big old ridge board up here. And now I'm enjoying this beautiful sunset from the top of my property. Just got the ridge board up. It's just resting in these pockets at either end. And now I've got all my rafters. They're all staged kind of approximately where they're gonna go. And I'm gonna bring those all up here, kind of just lay them from the top plate onto the deck here. And I'll kind of work my way. I think I'll start at one end, get those 2 in there on that end, then I'll come back to this end, get these 2 in, and then just work my way filling in from one end. just had a little bit of a issue. This support right here that holds up my ridge board was like 5 inches too high for some reason. I don't know, measured wrong or my math wrong. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, I had to take it down. I took down the supports here. I redid them. I put them all back up. You'll see that in the time lapse. But anyways, now we're back. We're all set up and ready to try to do the rafters again. I've got some of these rafters in. Took me a while to get the end ones sorted out and sitting the way that they'll work. I don't love it necessarily, but it's gonna be fine. But I think I might change what I'm doing. I've been setting the top end in the bracket on both sides, doing a few of those, and then going down to the top plate of the wall and nailing them off. I think what I'm gonna do is set it in the bracket, but not actually screw it in here yet. Once I'll get a few set up, I'll nail the top plates first, and then I'll screw the brackets, and we'll see how that goes. I got the roof framed up. I think it looks pretty good, actually. I did not check it for square yet. Basically just framed. I do still need to put on a set of rafters on both ends, but I'm gonna need some help to do that. I put some bracing on it because we're supposed to get 40-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow with a storm, so I just don't want it blowing down before I can get some sheeting on it. But overall, I mean, it was a lot of work. I'm tired, but I think it came out pretty good. Like 3/16, maybe an 1/8, which would mean pushing it that way, like an 1/8.
Yep.
But let's check the other side.
Yep.